Welcome to the Awakened Human Podcast, the place to be for highly progressive yet extremely grounded intuitive guidance, energetic support, metaphysical tools, and higher consciousness for highly successful, ambitious, soul-centered visionaries and leaders like you who want to make a global impact and achieve your highest fulfillment by aligning with your soul's true divine agenda and your role in God's plan of lighted creation, and by utilizing your divine gifts, talents, and abilities from the higher realms. We do this by working with the non-physical realms of higher guidance, energy, intuition, and powerful metaphysical tools for healing and transformation. We understand that the real change and transformation that's being called for on planet Earth and in our own lives and our own businesses doesn't come from outside of us, but rather from within. And that the change that we desire to experience in our lives and in our world requires us to change from the inside. I'm your host, Lori Ann Spagna. I'm a best-selling author, spiritual catalyst, intuitive, energy worker, ascension guide, multidimensional channel, animal communicator, visionary, lightworker, and luminary. I have dedicated my entire professional life to helping thousands and thousands of humans and animals all over the world in service and contribution to the light, which is the expansion, the upliftment, the evolution of humanity, to awaken, to uplift, and to align with our true divine source, which exists within each and every one of us. It is my passion, joy, and purpose to share this information, energy, and consciousness with you. Thank you so much for being here today and for sharing time with me. Let's get started.
Well, hello, you amazing, wonderful, evolutionary light leader. It's wonderful to be with you here today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up. It's my great honor to be with you today. I'm so grateful for you. Today, we're going to talk about a no drama life, living a no drama or a low drama life. This is a juicy topic. I hope this will be helpful to you. So both in your business life and in your personal life, I want to share on this topic. And I want to say that I grew up in a very high drama family. And for those of you who do love astrology, it is very well known or very well supported that the sign of Leo can oftentimes be the highest drama. They're great actors, by the way. Aries can sometimes, because Aries is fire, have drama, although theirs is more like eruption or a fire and then it's out, right? But the fire signs can be, especially Leo and Aries, can be high drama. Also, it's often said that the water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, can be high drama. But I'm here to suggest something somewhat different. So what I want to offer is that we have been plugged into a world that, because of the way the old paradigm works, the energy that we put out as living beings in physical form, that energy is life force. And that life force that we just release, it becomes food for what's like the reality that we live in. And so that reality is constantly asking for us to output energy. And the output of our energy is typically emotional energy. That's why fire signs can have a lot of emotion. And that's why water signs can have a lot of emotion. Air signs are much lighter. If you're into the astrology, air signs are like Gemini. It's kind of like just they're a light sign. Libra, they're very light. They're mostly air. And of course, Aquarius. And then if you look at the earth signs, Taurus, Capricorn, although Capricorns can be somewhat drama because they have a lot of judges. They can be very judgmental, so they can create drama. But your earth signs, Virgo, very low drama for the most part. Taurus, very low drama for the most part. Taurus is especially, they just want to go be peaceful somewhere. So beyond astrology, what we're talking about, though, is the physical world that we've been living in is attempting, in a sense, to take the energy that we have and fuel the physical world. And so it unconsciously creates a lot of drama. And we can call this, by the way, a lot of the energy that feeds off of drama, we can call it inertia, because it's just energy and it just builds and coagulates and it'll feed off of your drama. So if you're having drama in your life, that energy gets attracted to you and builds more, right? Now, if this isn't too far out, let's just bring it down and make it real. Let's say you're attracting or that you have clients or students who are creating drama in your classes, your programs, or on your events. Or let's say that you have family members where they have a lot of drama, or even in your social media, there's drama. You know, it shows up in social media as arguments and debates and people who are constantly in conflict or conflicting, or it shows up, whether it's on social media or in any other capacity, it'll show up as people constantly sort of making a big deal, a mountain out of a molehill, getting all upset about something, or some form of escalated emotions, intensified emotional reactivity, or some form of volatility or conflict. It just shows up, right? I have a lot of people who come to me and they say, how do you stay out of all that stuff in the 3D world? And I said, I just have no interest in it. I have people always asking me that, and people who are also other evolutionary leaders and light leaders, and they're healers and they're intuitives. And they say, how do you stay out of it? And I've learned that I just have no interest. I don't resonate with it anymore, because for many of you who've listened to me, you likely have heard this. I grew up in a family that was highly volatile. Both of my parents are Leos. They create drama. They're not really consciously aware that they're doing it. It's just them. They're unconscious. That's just the way it's happening. And as a child, it was very, very unsafe for me. And so I was always working really, really hard to try to keep things calm and peaceful and to try to create some kind of stability for myself. I wasn't always aware that that's what I was doing, but I've always been that way. And so I tend to be a conflict avoider. I don't really enjoy conflict, although in recent years, I've watched myself through my own healing journey be able to handle it in all new ways, which makes me quite proud that I can handle it and address it and not run from it. It's in my face, like that I can stand up for myself. However, what I'm saying here is that all that drama and volatility has taught me, and all my desire for stability and peace and calm has taught me, that the way to avoid it is to simply unplug, disentangle from it, and disengage with it. And I think that's when people are asking me, how do you avoid it? It's because they're still engaging with it. They're largely still engaging. They're still giving in to that need to engage in a post that's literally sucking some form of life out of them or draining them. They know that if they engage in it, it's going to bring about some kind of conflict or some kind of disagreement. Here's the thing about disagreement. You can disagree with people. It doesn't mean you have to get into a disagreement, argument, or debate. You can just say, okay, thanks for your point of view. Like, okay, that's your point of view. No problem. But that old paradigm is constantly trying to beg that out of us, to create that drama, to feed the energetic dynamic of this drama state reality. And you see it on the nightly news everywhere. They put these two, talking heads opposite one another. And in that talking head experience, in a sense, what they're doing is they're saying, this is right. No, this is right. Oh, this is wrong. This is wrong. You're right. I'm wrong. I'm right. You're wrong. And they go back and forth and they argue the same points over and over again. And they're creating this norm of what we call argument and debate. And I see it in people who watch the news, how geared up they are unconsciously to have some kind of argument and debate, some kind of disagreement. And I see it in people. You could say left and they'll say right. And you can say up and they'll say down. And you can say yes and they'll say no. And you can say no and they'll say yes. And when that pattern starts playing out, most of those people aren't even conscious of the fact that they do that. They're just wired into that patterning of the drama. And so in order to get disentangled from that, you have to be able to begin to recognize, there it is. I'm just not going to go in there. I just don't want that in my life. You have to be liberated enough energetically from that old paradigm programming that is begging you to get into the drama. Yes, it's in the news programs. Yes, it's on social media. Yes, it's in family conversations during dinner. Yes, it's at Thanksgiving dinner, the holidays. It's always begging you because the vast majority of people are deeply wired and deeply programmed into that and unconsciously engaging in this argument and debate, right and wrong kind of experience. And until you can see it and recognize, there it is, you really can't pull yourself out of it because you're going to get sucked into it every time. And it won't matter if it happens with a client or a student, someone you work with in your community, or a colleague professionally. It just brings you down. It drains you because that's what drama does. It's taking your energy and your life force, and it's like inertia that's feeding off of you. And if it's a client, they're not going to be uplifted by you. And that your job isn't to go down with them. Your job is to help elevate them. So you can't get sucked into that. Before you can ever not get sucked into it, you have to see it for what it is. And you have to recognize it's just two talking heads arguing and debating, because that is how human consciousness has been in that old paradigm manipulated. And in a sense, we could say brainwashed. Let's give two talking heads and let's just all believe that really you're getting a viewpoint and a counter viewpoint. Let's let marketing on CNN and other kinds of chronic negativity networks, let's just allow those networks to make us think that we're being critical thinkers, that we're being free-minded, free thinkers. But really what we're doing is pulling you in to a drama of disagreement, argument, and debate, and right and wrong, the game of duality. And through that experience, you're going to replay it in the world because the cultural society is all plugged into that kind of chronic negativity network, and it ends up playing out. And then it's believed somehow that argument and debate is normal, and skepticism and cynicism is normal, and disharmony is normal. And it's just, that's the way to be. And then you wonder why you're exhausted, drained, and depleted. Right? This is the drama of the world stage. And this drama goes on in our lives. And one thing I've really learned in both my personal life and my professional life that I'm sharing here with you now is, if you can bring yourself to a point where you start seeing that pattern playing out, and you make a clear decision for yourself that you're not interested in engaging with that, then it means you don't have to agree. You just don't have to get into the argument or the debate or the right and wrong. So you can start using tools energetically to just decide right there, to become more of the witness and the observer, and to notice it, and to choose in a conscious way, I will not get drawn into that. I will not engage with it. I will unplug from it. I will choose not to watch that anymore. I will choose not to engage with people who are like that anymore. I will choose to offer a neutral response, such as, interesting perspective, or, thank you for letting me know how you feel, or, I hadn't considered that, or, thank you, that's interesting. Something along those lines that does not allow for further entanglement. You don't have to agree with someone to offer them agreement. By the way, I did a podcast episode on this, and I hope my podcast person will link it in the show notes. But there's a podcast episode on using sacred feminine energy, and you may find that to be quite helpful with regard to this topic area. Overall, what I'm suggesting is you don't have to agree with someone or something to stay out of the drama. you can simply choose to offer the energy of agreement, which is, interesting, or wow, thanks for letting me know how you feel, or wow, thank you, or wow, I can understand that's how you feel, or thank you for sharing. You see, I'm saying a million different ways of just offering the energy of agreement without necessarily agreeing. Wow, I can hear that you feel that way, or I can hear your point of view, or I can understand that must have been upsetting to you, or something along those lines that gives that person the right to be right. I've even gone so far with some people, although they really don't like this, when they get into some form of argument or debate or drama, where I'll just say, you're right. If they're smart, they kind of will catch on pretty quickly. They'll say like, well, you're just saying that now. But sometimes if I can say it really convincing, because from their perspective, they're right. And I don't need to be right. I personally don't need to be right. I've already worked through that. I had to learn how to work through that very early on in my life, because I grew up in a family where if I got into the argument and debate, there was no winning. So I just learned to say, yeah, you're right. Wow. Yeah, you're right. You're so right. That will really get you out of drama any day of the week. So especially if you can say it convincingly. And what I'm suggesting isn't that you betray your authenticity. Please know that. You have to decide if that's okay with you. I know for me personally, one of my highest values is peace and harmony. I value that. I value peace and harmony over being right. I value peace and harmony over arguing and debating. I value peace and harmony over proving a point. And so I choose the peace and harmony instead, and I offer that person what they need. And sometimes what they need is to be right. And from their perspective, they are right. So it's okay with me in some cases to simply say that. I won't say it if I 100% know that they're not right. People believe a lot of things that aren't right. People have a lot of belief systems that aren't aligned with divine truth. And in those cases, I'm not going to say you're right. I'll say, wow, I hear you. I can understand your point of view. Or, wow, thanks for sharing your point of view. Or, wow, thanks for letting me know how you feel about that. Or, of course, you feel that way. I could understand that you would feel that way. Something along those lines. So I'm not asking you to betray your authentic truth. I'm asking you to consider if you want to get out of drama. And I'm offering you some energetic tools and ways to engage with people that will, and also to disengage, because sometimes just disengaging and saying, I'm not getting involved in that post. I'm not going to share in that conversation. I'm not going to contribute to that dialogue, or I'm not going to watch that chronic negativity network. Those are ways to disengage. I'm not going to involve myself in that environment or that circle or that conversation or that post. I'm just offering you ways to get the drama out of your life. I hope this has been helpful, and I would love to hear more about your feedback and comments. And of course, if you found this show's episode helpful to you, please share it with others. Sharing is caring, and it really helps me to get more of this work out to more of you amazing, fabulous, evolutionary leaders, so that I can be of service and contribution in the way that I'm meant to be by sharing this kind of insight, metaphysical tools, higher consciousness. And in the meantime, I'm going to sign off now and send you so much love, and thank you for being here and for being the brilliance and the magnificence that you truly are. All right. Farewell for now. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much for listening today. If you loved the show and if you benefited in any way, if it helped you to up-level or expand your consciousness, if you gained any new insights or ideas, if it made you think or become more aware, or if there were some strategies or intuition that you may have benefited from in any way, would you please do me 2 easy and simple favors? First, if you would be willing to leave a review, it would mean the world to me. I'd be so grateful. And second, if you're willing to share this show with anyone else who would benefit, you can either post it on your social media or just email it to someone. and share it with another person or any other people, it would be so awesome. This kind of thing is so helpful in expanding consciousness on the planet and helping others to benefit from this kind of teaching, which just simply isn't generally readily available in the mainstream. So sharing it really helps others benefit and helps our planet evolve and awaken. Plus, expressing gratitude and generosity in this way will also expand your capacity to give and receive even more. Either way, I just want to say thank you so much for being here and for participating and for sharing, and overall, just for being the magnificent, the spectacular, the brilliant, the fabulous, the wonderful you that you truly are, and for allowing yourself to be the very best version of you today and every day. All my love and gratitude to you.